It's probably leaning towards guilt. Now, on the racketeering, I agree with you that the predicate acts may be found, but that's not all they need. There's an ultimate question. The first question on the jury verdict form is, do you find him guilty or not guilty of racketeering? Before you even get to the predicate acts, which you only get to if you find guilt, they could just be hung up on that question and say, this guy's not Tony Soprano. I am not convinced that I even want to find guilt on the act.
Right now, everything we thought we knew about one of hip-hop's most infamous tragedies has been flipped upside down. And there's no way to take it back. Word is spreading that the FBI isn't just chasing old rumors anymore. They reportedly have undeniable proof linking Sean Diddy Combs directly to the plot that took Tupac Shakur out of the game. Just as that revelation shocks everyone, a new twist is sending chills through the culture. The same agents allegedly have hard evidence that Shakur never actually died in Las Vegas. His funeral was staged. The autopsy fake files have surfaced, and sources close to the investigation claim this isn't just another wild theory from the internet. If it's true, everything changes. Imagine the panic inside Diddy's circle right now. Phones ringing non-stop, lawyers scrambling, emergency meetings underway. The empire he built on glossy videos and platinum hits suddenly looks like it's collapsing. The stakes. If Shakur ever steps into a courtroom and speaks, the fallout won't just damage Diddy's legacy. It could rewrite the entire story of hip-hop itself.
Was the incentive just revenge, or was the incentive for that supposed money that Puffy supposedly put up?
Picture it. A mogul pacing behind glass in a Manhattan tower, lawyers at his side, realizing the fight is slipping away. Nobody expected the FBI to drop this kind of bombshell. For years, fans argued over cryptic lyrics, shaky alibis, and blurry photos. Now the whispers have turned into evidence. Phone logs, hidden memos, and insiders claiming the East versus West feud was really about power, money, and betrayal. And the funeral. Insiders now say it was staged. Hospital reports didn't add up, the coroner dodged questions, and witnesses went silent. Even Suge Knight has hinted Tupac's death may have been engineered. The fallout isn't just personal, it's cultural. A whole generation mourned an icon who may have slipped away while the world was still lighting candles and pressing play on California Love.
You know, when it comes to rewriting history, it's trying to rewrite history.
And here's where it gets stranger. According to chatter from ex-bodyguards and old A&R fixers, Diddy's panic isn't just about being caught in lies. It's about a secret FBI deal gone wrong. Always the chess player, never the pawn. He allegedly saw shockers rise as a threat. Fearing retaliation from Suge Knight and worried Tupac might expose secrets that could destroy Bad Boy Records, Diddy reportedly handed over evidence, some of it fake, to the feds. The goal? Protect himself and sabotage his West Coast rivals in one move. The result? Federal protection for Diddy, a wave of violence for everyone else, and an industry terrified as the body count rose. As one retired tour manager put it wasn't just rivalry, it was business. If you didn't play, you disappeared. If you got too big, you became a problem. So was the East versus West war just a cash grab by men who thought they were untouchable? Look back at the timeline and the pattern is hard to ignore. In the early 90s, Sean Combs climbed from A&R exec to label boss, building a bad boy empire that crushed anyone in the way. On the West Coast, Suge Knight and Death Row were rewriting the rules. By 1995, tensions boiled at the Source Awards. Suge's insults, Diddy's calls for peace, the whole room bristling with gang ties. Behind the scenes, though, the real business was happening. Secret deals, cash payoffs, alliances with street crews willing to get dirty. The first Real crack appeared in 1994 at Quad Studios, when Tupac was shot in a Manhattan booth. Rumors swirled immediately. Did Biggie and Diddy have a hand in it? They denied it, but the fracture lines through hip-hop were now impossible to ignore.
Let's talk about it, man. So you feel like it was bigger than Orlando shooting Pac. You feel like it's more to the story. You don't think it was that simple?
I feel like
the escalation was as predictable as it was tragic. The music grew harsher, the diss tracks sharper, entourages larger, and behind it all, the sense that someone was pulling strings. After the infamous 1995 Source Awards, With Suge and Diddy barely hiding their contempt, the war shifted from lyrics to bullets. By the time Shakur dropped Hit 'Em Up in 1996, no one in hip-hop doubted something ugly was coming. But the real money was in the aftermath. Every high-profile loss sold millions more records, with the label heads pocketing the lion's share. Those who refused to play along, or tried to go independent, began disappearing from the scene. With Diddy and Suge both chasing total control, there was only ever one outcome. Then came Las Vegas. The Tyson fight, the black BMW, the white Cadillac, and investigations that never quite made sense. 4 years, the only testimony linking Diddy to the crime came from Dwayne "Kef" D. Davis, whose story changed constantly. But now, the FBI reportedly has new evidence. Surveillance footage, bank transfers, and intercepted calls. Diddy's denials, once easy to shrug off, now sound desperate. His legal team, fighting like hell, is said to be bracing for indictments that could make his past scandals look like traffic tickets.
Welcome back. A hearing is set for next Tuesday in the case for Sean Diddy Combs. This just days after jurors delivered a mixed verdict in his trafficking and racketeering trial.
And just when it seems the paranoia can't climb any higher, the wildest card of all emerges. Whispers that Shakur survived, that he's been watching from the shadows, and that now, when everything is on the line, he's ready to testify. The recent legal storm over Diddy's alleged parties, with accusations of manipulation and coercion, could end up looking like nothing more than a warm-up. Picture the courtroom. Packed seats, cameras flashing, the world holding its breath as the man everyone thought dead walks in to tell the story the industry fought to bury. If Shakur talks, if he points the finger, the empire Diddy built on image, alliances, and secrets collapses overnight. This wouldn't just mark the end of an era. If the allegations hold true, it would be hip-hop's own apocalypse. And no one in the industry would be safe from what comes next.
There is a partial verdict in the Diddy case. After 2 days, the jury has reached unanimous decisions on 4 of the 5 counts.
The problem is that 5th count means that we don't get to find out what the verdicts are on the other 4 because they are hung up on racketeering.
If the FBI's evidence holds, this isn't just a story of betrayal. It's proof of a profit machine that devoured its own legends. Follow the money, and the picture turns darker. When Shakur supposedly disappeared, his name became pure currency. Albums, shirts, posters, everything sold in waves, not trickles. A former accountant claims the first 2 years after his death pulled in over $1 billion. Posthumous albums, unreleased tracks, clothing deals, films, even hologram tours. Every trace of his voice turned into gold. The very spectacle of his absence kept the money flowing. Was Shakur's loss really just hip-hop's most lucrative marketing campaign? The emotional cost can't be measured in dollars. Fans lit candles, painted murals, and mourned lyrics that now feel like staged goodbyes. With these revelations, it's hard to ignore the bitter aftertaste, that millions poured heartbreak into what may have been a lie, enriching those behind the curtain. Even Shakur's mother once said his departure was something he chose to do quietly. Today, that line feels like a clue hiding in plain sight. Which leaves one haunting question. Did anyone close to Tupac truly know the truth? Or was everyone just another pawn in a game stretching from Los Angeles to New York, and maybe even to Havana?
How many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
As the latest courtroom drama around Diddy unfolds, the parallels are hard to miss. The headlines focus on lurid parties and celebrity witnesses, but beneath it all lies a pattern of control, manipulation, and silencing that stretches back to the darkest days of the 90s. Cassie's gut-wrenching testimony painted Diddy as a man who used every tool at his disposal to isolate her, keep her afraid, and strip away her sense of self through influence, surveillance, and threats. The freak-offs, she told the jury, weren't pleasure. They were work, an existence where power and fear blurred into one. It's not hard to see the same tactics in how rivals and inconvenient insiders vanished, or how bad boy affiliates who knew too much ended up cast aside, or worse. This isn't just about one feud or one scandal. It's a window into how fame and power are protected at the very top. Diddy wasn't only building a label or a brand. He was constructing a fortress, a place where no one could touch him and inconvenient truths were buried with ruthless efficiency. The trial merely confirmed what the industry whispered for years. The glamour was a mask. Behind it lay secrets, shadows, and a system built on domination. If these patterns truly stretch back to the 90s, then we're not looking at isolated misdeeds, but a lifetime spent perfecting control, in the boardroom, in the studio, and in the darkest corners of private life.
To me, as Wild King nights, and what a Wild King night was when him and a guest or guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil Astroglide.
In the end, the truth feels closer than ever, but the questions only grow darker. If these revelations hold, the foundations of hip-hop and the empire Diddy built may not survive the fallout. Stay tuned, because what comes next won't just rewrite history. It could change the future of music forever.